Hello everyone, it's Dada from TradeGuardian and I sincerely hope you're doing really well. Today I'd like to share my knowledge about waves and how the market, any market, doesn't matter which one, always moves in waves, and for that reason we would need a few tools. We're looking at a 5-minute chart of a Euro US dollar, sorry. And why 5 minutes? Because it's more distinctive. This technique, this strategy applies to any time frame. Actually, I have to tell you now that the higher the time frame, the possibilities of you winning are also higher. But 5 minutes for now, as an example, should do. And I trade 5 minutes myself using this very same strategy. Nothing wrong with it. It's just on an hourly chart, for instance, you'll get higher yield of results and more probability on your side, which is quite important. Now, leaving that all aside, waves. So what are waves? When I said market moves in waves, I meant this. If you look at our screen here, we only have a 8-period simple moving average across our screens. Let me show it to you. These are the actual settings on it here. So period 8, method simple, and apply to close. So 8-period simple moving average. And if you look at the moving average, you can count the waves. So this is called something of an impulse move. Why impulse? Because if you, as you can see, before this move here and over here and over here, it was quite quiet. It was just, chugging along, not doing much. But this just jumped out of that range. So hence the name impulse. Now, and that is also our first wave. And we need to start counting waves and measuring them. So this is how we do it. We need to notice an impulse wave. And they are usually very noticeable because they just rip out of the existent range and you will see them. So it's, as you can see, it's very noticeable. An 8-period moving average, that line running there, also shows us the waves. As you can see, this was the first wave. From here, down here, to up here, wave 1. And then it retraced a little bit, as it usually does. This is how the market moves. And we're experiencing, or already experienced, wave 2. Now, what I want to make sure you pay attention to is the length of the waves, each wave. So for that reason, it's easier to look at the moving average line rather than the candlesticks, because it's easier to see the waves on that line. So for me, wave 1, hesitation, wave 2, hesitation, and we are just about hesitating on wave 3. Now, as a rule of a thumb, they all say market moves in 3 consecutive waves. When it deviates from the base price, it goes up or down, doesn't matter. It's wave 1, wave 2, which is usually longer than first wave, and wave 3, which is usually the shortest wave in this sequence. Elliott waves, look it up, it's all in there, but I'm trying to simplify it. So what have we learned so far? We're looking for impulse wave. That also will be our first wave in our sequence of 3 waves. So looking back on a 5-minute chart or any time frame, when there's a range going on, market is just ranging, not doing much, and you get this impulse wave that gets out of the range, and it's quite noticeable. And that's the one we call wave 1. Then we, using the 8 simple moving average just to determine, to visualize the waves easier, and that was the hesitation on the moving average, and was the beginning of the second wave. And it could call it that the third wave is already failing. and hence I just entered a sell trade there. And I would hope that it retraces me back to this line I've drawn there, just to the middle of second wave. That way, you know where you are on your price ladder. Let's call it the price ladder. Wave 1, step 1, wave 2, step 2, and eventually step 3, which is usually shorter, which also signifies, it tells you that this wave movement up has come to the end. So that was my reason to place a sell stop order down there, because I wanted to get some of the money off the market, and it's quite easy to do it like this. Another way of trading this system would be, once you caught this wave up, the first one, and it's so out of the range and it's significant, then you just buy this. You buy this as soon as it retraces back. So I would have bought this here, but unfortunately I wasn't awake, so I couldn't. And then you are guaranteed another at least one wave in the same direction. Or what I'm doing here is quite the opposite. I already saw 3 waves by the time I got to my screen, and the third one really struggling, so that's a very good sign that I'm going to get some profit out of selling this at the very top of this move. Alright everyone, hope it was clear enough, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.